Let's go back to this map. Homie wants to give out review too bad as well.
It's time to save the world.
So starting, it's fine that you go this way. Going left, you get the brig pocket, and from there we can start to kind of push out a little bit. Going this right is, you don't need to be this far right, because if you are, you basically you're on your own, right? And until we know what the comp is playing around, like right where you are or towards our team more, it's probably best to stay around there until we know what the comp is, because then if you go on your own on the right and you're, let's say, dueling JT, then Don't Fix can come around and give you a hack and you're fucked. I don't even know how to go about that one. That one was just needed to trade the backline. I'm not sure if Prop was with you when we went there, but I mean, you kind of just jumped off the brig when you could have pressured her more. You still had blinks available, still could have done something there, but that was just honestly just looked like your brain just kind of short-circuited for a second. Yep, on the D, on the D. Still not going on the same target. Good flank. Yeah, you're gonna wanna, you did your job, get out. Good. Yeah.
Give up? Not in my vocabulary.
We kind of talked about this during the scrim, but definitely a bit of just a bad comp that we played. Put the stick on him. Yep. We run pit touch this way. Okay. I don't know why you're chasing that. You're nanoed. You take duels. You kill supports. Recall. Nice. No, my word. You were trying to play for your life. Can't really comment too much on that, but
Perseverance is my middle name.
I will not be denied.
You're mine now. There we go.
Come here. I'm getting the objective. Oh, it's gonna go.
on the brig. Okay, so let's talk about the comp real quick, because I still think we had a fine comp with what we were running originally, with the Brig and the Ana and the Ashe. It's just that we again, get off of it as soon as we lose a fight, which you just don't need to do. You just gotta change how you play. Which how you play is backline is just playing a little bit more further back, away from how aggro their supports are gonna be, and probably okay. Maybe a few things that would have needed to change, but I still think the Ana Brig would have been fine. We just need to look, like you said, and when we were DMing each other, it's just that we need to look for big antes and go on the same target. I mean, it's going to be hard to go on that Brig constantly, so if you're not going on the Brig, maybe chasing down the Lucio and poking him out, especially against a Brig Lucio with... Yeah, it's such a low heal comp, but like when they're all in the thick of it, it is going to be a bit harder for us to get anything, consistent onto them. But like probably like pressuring out the Lucio a lot more in this comp, if not punishing the Tracer or the Sombra for small errors like fucking up hack, TP, stealthing too early or stealthing poorly, not using TP, that kind of thing, right? Hold on. If the Brig is solo and on her own, then yeah, absolutely go on her. But like for the most part, when you're going to be going on that Brig, you're looking to force CDs if you can, or kill her. I'll flip that around. If you can, kill her at most, or at least try to force CDs. Like otherwise in the comp, yeah, the Lucio, or you're just trying to check the DPS. I know that's not much to help against a comp like that, but that was a bit of a weird comp, so.
Greetings. Ready. Hey there. Greetings.
This beat. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello.
Rude. Let's get a move on.
Here they come. Get ready.
Match this
I will give you shelter.
Hiya.
The objective is
We must capture this territory.
搞科研就是不怕失败。嗨，
Greetings.
我来帮你。
Greetings. Hello.
Well,
I'm on the objective. Load up.
That'll turn your head. Our enemies approach.
so definitely want to be trying to play with your Ram there. Big trees.
You wage a war you cannot win.
有本事就翻过去。
So just like I think another big issue with your mate is just like Ashe, how you're constantly using your secondary more than you're using your primary. I think it's also an issue that you're not trying to freeze more than you're actually using your icicles. Like, you have been consistently doing icicles, and yes, they have been doing a lot of damage, but the primary also does a good amount of damage if you're constantly tracking it, and obviously it's just going to slow them down a lot easier. It definitely helps us to also go on one target. Like, if all of us are, fights breaking out a little bit, and we see our Mei freezing one person, it's almost like a rallying cry to look at that one person. If you're slowing them, if you're freezing them, if like, yeah. So you're just using your secondary a lot when you could be in there with your ram. Also, during that last fight, you didn't play a whole lot with your ram, which you were just kind of looking all over the place. It was a big blizzard that you got, and we were just cleaning up a little bit, but still, small things. Also will help you build your ult faster, because obviously you're doing more consistent damage over time than you are just icicles. I don't like your positioning here. Make sure you're playing with your ram. Let's say, watch the Hanzo. Okay, now the good thing, so on this map in particular, the good thing for the defending team who has control of the point is if they play that high ground, one, they have to try and take us off, because our backline is going to be set up there. Our Cass, our BAP should be both playing up there, right? And so let's say they do force it off like they just did. Obviously, they now have high ground control, which does put us at a bit of a disadvantage, but the fact that we have point still makes it okay. They're playing into us, not the other way around. So what we look to do when that kind of thing happens is that since we're running the Mei, whatever door they try to push out of, we wall that so that they're not getting support from the BAP, because that BAP isn't really going to be playing an off angle. When their tank's pushing forward, they're going to be wanting tank right in front of me, not on, a little bit to the left type of thing. So that's going to block off their heals, giving us like a slight second or two to be able to actually finish them off.
Someone has to keep you alive.
Right, so like right now, since we have point control, they're playing into us. Not the best ball. I would have saved it for a minute. Too early on block. Great wall. Good wall. Good wall. Freeze. Freeze. One of this works too, but. Good wall. Good stuff. A few iffy walls, and noticing that you're not using primary as much, but otherwise looks good. Okay, so the call here is to obviously play this top, almost waiting a few seconds for Studio to get back, and then Studio TPs as we push in. I almost want to say we should try to bait them into coming into us and then putting up the wall. But also, if you manage to solo out a target, absolutely. Let's see how we do here. Whoa. Good attempt. There you go. Now you're using primary like you want you to. Not a bad wall. Can we put that wall now? How did he even get out? What the fuck? Yep, you want to be up there with him. Up there with him. Good. Now you're freezing, you're freezing, you're freezing. Why are you on her? So again, this is the good thing about wall. Like, it doesn't always have to be on the tank, but like, if you see that Kiri on the other side, like, just put a wall up in front of her. She's gonna be forced to TP, or have to take a different angle, which is gonna give us time to actually slow and freeze and kill the JQ. Could have Coyote a little earlier, but
Translocator. Time for another experiment. Ha!
Surrender to my will.
Ice wall coming up. Let's try something else.
You cannot escape me. I'm under attack. A cure for all the tales.
Apagando las luces.
block. Good. Freeze, 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 freeze. Wall, wall. Wall a little bit earlier there. Oh.
They got us outnumbered.
Just part of the scientific method.
Misery made manifest.
Hello.
Watch your back.
You need only ask someone who
Ice wall coming up.
Party time, let's go.
I offer something more. A taste of
Good wall. Yep, good, good. See what I mean? Oh, I don't know how she didn't die.
Come take a point with me. Load up.
Good wall.
cannot escape me.
I'm actually on fire.
Oh, you were talking about how the ball went through? No, he went through because the wall was busted, that's why. Wow, good shot. Okay. Do you have any questions on May and or Tracer? Sorry, that was the other area you played. Let's look at Dorado. Don't get to see you play Echo very much.
We got this. Advancing upward.
Good kill. Good.
I can do better than that.
On the move. Repositioning. Fixation on target.
Yeah.
How can I adjust?
I'm on fire.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Only thing so far is I don't know why you're not sticking Diva, especially when you're playing above her. And I mean, one, she's not looking at you, but two, she's like almost full health. Like you go for beam more than you go for sticky switch.
I burn like the corn.
Up and at him.
Good.
Back online.
On the move.
Okay, Dupe here is definitely going to be more situational how you want to approach the fight. Like, I don't know, we'll see what you do.
Being at the payload.
Salutations.
Life protects life.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Diva.
Okay, that time you could have gone for beam instead. Oh.
Hey,
Rip.
Why has the payload stopped?
Greetings.
Dusting off. Got you. Advancing upward.
Getting in good, I mean, good chip damage, but like I said, I think the issue with this map was we didn't have Ana instead.
Enemy detected.
I can protect you. She's gonna blow. Here goes nothing. Shield toppling.
Good pick.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Diva. Ejecting. All systems checked.
Not much time left. Let's get him over.
Good try.
Cheers, love. It's time to save the world.
Let me think about it. What you could have done different. I mean, possibly from a different angle. Could have gone in. I don't think you were staying in long enough for those fights for us to really find the picks either. A lot of the times you did like fly away, or you would fall off high ground, that kind of thing. But between bubble, between life weaver healing, between brig packs, you should be staying in there a lot longer than you are. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, otherwise, I mean, like the echo plate looked pretty good. It's just, I don't know, something weird. Okay.
I still can't
Okay,
believe
so
how
I
tall you've
remember
gotten.
that. I think it was it Tracer? I
You
think it
have
was
to catch
Tracer
me first.
that tried to go on the opposite high ground. Prof went after it instead of you. That's your job to do that. That's you marking the Tracer on defense more than Prof really should, right? Like.
Stop the payload.
Back to the past.
I don't know if I like that. I think you could just poke from above here. So lucky.
Help me. Back again.
I mean that kind of all stems from you going in on the Ash at the first point and burning recall, right? Like you didn't need to jump down there because going for that pick is going to be very unlikely, especially since our D would just use boosters. You're not going to have any follow up with you. Getting that kill is like playing the odds game is very low of you actually pulling off that kill, right? I mean, at most you're just putting pressure on her, which you could have done from above.
Holding dropsy.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
He dies. Now you switch to the diva. Yep.
Almost ready. Thought of you.
Good sig. Cleanse probably. That's why you didn't kill her. Nice.
Back in the fight. Much better.
Good. Force recall. On her. Damn, he pops he hits his shots. But yeah, I would have probably just gone on that tracer. Like, you force recall with taking no damage or burning yours or burning a lot of blinks. Like, that should be instantly going on him. But I mean, don't fix, just kind of track. Point. You don't have to be worried about the room. Good. Yeah, that Ash being on high ground is just bad for us. She's kind of free. I think the only thing we changed different, and this is kind of more of a team-wide thing, but it should have only been you going the cart and not our monkey, because we ended up EMPing in that mega room. That if we had our monkey there, it probably would have been able to swing that fight, like, right? It's just your job to contest cart unless you can't, and that's when you say I can't, and then we switch off to, you know, monkey touching cart, studio touching cart, something like that, right? So. Suzu's force, a good pulse opportunity. Look for pulse. You heard Suzu, then you go for pulse. On the Ash, on the Ash, on the Ash, man. On the Ash. Yep, go on her. Good. Okay, I think another one of your issues is you don't take enough poke. Like, with our healers, like, we're up right now. Like, right now, sorry, let me re-explain this. You don't take enough poke, and instead you're using your blinks because you're afraid of getting poked out or dying, right? Or using recall and burning it, right? Especially in like that tracer 1v1. So I'll go back and show you here real quick. On the okay, this right here is what I'm talking about. Okay, that blink. Again, you could have just poked her out more, forced her recall, that kind of thing. And I say why you can do this is because right now there are already basically 2 down with their baby diva being down, right? And we have all 5 up. You can very well just keep poking at her from where you were instead of coming back this way, right? Because as we're poking her from the back, that's too deep in thinking, but just taking a little bit more poke, especially in those in these poke phases, right? Or right there, could have gotten a couple more shots in. Just small bits of poke. Yep, good. You test cart from here. And by all means, you understand the Tracer duel a lot better than I do. But tell me if that makes sense for the the poke thing, right?
Let me keep
Might have burnt that a little too early, but
Clear as crystal.
I'm with you.
yep, you want to be looking for this side flank. They don't have a Sombra to check you on these flanks. You can go for this flank over here, especially if we're pincing them to go behind, right? Checking the Tracer. Good, I like this. On Alicia, good. Good. Instead of going for this Tracer, you should probably go after the Ashe. Oh, this went good. Good. That time blinking there, perfectly fine, understandable. Nice. Dude, great focus. I don't want to talk about this. Diffed. Hard diffed.
Hi there. Hello there.
So instead of going straight away for the pulse there, yes, it does force Suzu and everything, and it eventually does force beat. Could have tried to force out Suzu a little bit earlier by that, blinking in real quick, doing some big chip damage onto the Kiri, forcing Suzu, recall, and then like a couple seconds later, then he pulse, right? Oh, that's unlucky. Okay, Midtown. What were you playing on Midtown? I don't really remember what we were playing at Midtown. But you were playing Reaper on New Queen Street, so we'll go ahead and watch that.
Traveling to New Queen Street. What objective unlocks in 30 seconds?
Making progress. Let's stay with him.
You're out of there, you're out of there, you're out of there. Oh, okay.
Back we go. Stay where I can see. Let's put a stop to that. Again. Did you miss me?
Nice. Yep, on that Lucio, on the Lucio, on the Lucio. That was interesting, to say the least. Good pick. University are definitely syncing up a little bit more in this map, but
I'll take a reading.
let me watch that. That was good. Yeah, maybe instead of going for bot, since we do have ball up, I'm not really sure. I think he just died. No. He should be on his way back or almost back. That he'll get the touch, or at least we should try and calm that he gets the touch, and you just go after the tracer. I don't like you going. Yeah, playing out here. You're kind of in no man's land. Chasing the tracer would have been better, but doing that blink in and then recall, especially when you were, it looked like you were pretty close to full HP. I could be wrong, but and JT goes 3.
Right back up again.
Hey, it's Kiko.
They're pushing. Let's push back.
Surprise!
See how many blinks you just used after she just used one?
Greetings.
You're no use to us.
That one's fine.
Love.
Dodge the knife, that's fine. Okay.
Look at me go!
La próxima vez es más interesante.
Hello. Greetings. Hello. Put them in the crowd.
Here goes nothing. Back we go. Shield
I will give you shelter.
Again, that's a big cooldown for this comp. Any comp that's running Lucio Kiri, anytime anytime they use Suzu, that's like our sign to go in, right? So, although trying to throw pulse to force that is forget what I'm saying. I'm fine with it. Force Suzu, but like we need to call that. Hey, they use Suzu. We go in hard.
They're taking the robot.
Staring. 私が守る。
Crank up the
Resurfacing. Greetings. Can't escape.
Get some healing needs going.
Put them in the ground.
They're pushing the barricade.
Come on, that's not me. Got the robot.
Unlucky. I think you did everything kind of right there, but great TP.
Move it, robot.
Commencing the pulse. Hello. Moving the barricade.
Can we go challenge that? Keep fucking up these DPs. It's kind of funny.
Feel better?
Maybe you tunneled on the wrong person. I don't know, but I mean, it's just end of the fight. They cleaned up pretty good.
Hello.
Hey, good TP.
Greetings. Hello.
Your day just got made.
Taking the robot.
Commands received. Picking up the pace.
Healing boost.
Cloaked in shadow. I am on fire.
Okay, push out. Yep.
They have taken the robot. A mistake. They will come to regret.
Unlucky.
Come on, we're almost there.
Follow me if you can. I have arrived. Greetings.
Out of the ways.
Like mending a shadow.
Robot's ours. Let's go.
Happy to go.
Greetings.
Forward spawn activated.
I'm on fire!
Oh, dude, I didn't even see. Sorry, I haven't even been reading your shit. I didn't even know you'd messaged me. Yeah, you do have some really sus TPs. I think the good thing about running this comp, like the comp difference that we have here, is that we have a stronger front line than they do, right? Like just with the fact that we have Ram and Reaper, that's much stronger than Junker Queen, right? Just period. We have more sustain, being that we have Nemesis form, we have Wraith. Queen just has bleed throughout the entire fight, and shout. That's about it, right? That's why going after the Kiri is kind of important. So as long as our backline can survive long enough for us to win the front line, that's how we win the fight, right? So if you can during this, we're like in a mirror like this, even if we're facing like a Ram and they're running this Tracer Sombra setup or even Monkey, you're going to be constantly looking to try and burn down the tank, right?
60 seconds.
Wage a war you cannot win.
I'm here.
It was a good fight for us.
They stole the robot from us.
And they use the MP.
30 seconds.
Hello.
Let the Kitsune guide you. Robot's ours.
Oh. No, that's my bad.
Here goes nothing.
Overtime.
We are almost won. Make your stand at the robot's side.
狐の鍵爪を解き放て。
I know we find a pick here, don't we? Yeah. Nice.
It's like they already been dying.
Okay. So I think that's all I'm gonna look for over for you tonight. So I'm trying to think back to the other maps when you said some of this stuff, and I just want to use it. Copy. When to use copy? It depends. Again, it depends on who you do copy, right? Like if, or what you need to copy, I guess is the better word for it, right? If it's just so situational. Even I'm not really sure when to use copy. I'd say it's more of a mid fight ult where you're kind of using it to help in whatever aspect we need to. Whether that's a healer gets picked and we need another healer, right? Or let's just say they're starting to focus our monkey more. You might want to go to Diva and look to pocket him when you go in, right? You can it's just you can't always use it for the ult that you're copying. You got to use it for more of the utility as well. So in the comp that they were running Ash Brig, Ana, Diva, Tracer, right? in that comp, I would probably look to either dupe the brig if we're already like, so as we dive in, you use your abilities, you use your flight, you use your stickies, right? If we use that brig, one, we're gonna have a lot of sustain and front and forward pressure. Obviously, brig's rally is, as soon as you get it, is very good, and especially if you can hit your abilities as soon as you dupe. Otherwise, maybe even duping a diva would be okay. Let's see. Ana it's okay to dupe the Ana. It's just like against the diva, if you aren't hitting that nade, then it's it's not, it's all right. So yeah, I don't really know if that clears anything up, but like me personally, I would probably use dupe more for defensive kind of measures, whether that's like how I explained it, with extra sustain and heals and frontline pressure with the brig, or going diva to help our monkey go in a little further, right? You're using more of the utility than you are the actual ult that you're using. That's just kind of like added benefit, right? Every time we jumped, yeah. So every time that kind of thing, we just need to actually do some macro over, and I think I actually might do that here in a minute. Kind of explaining. I don't know which map I want to do that for. I don't remember which one we ran on a brig. God, yeah, it's gonna be easier when Clover's here to do it, but when we are, that's one of the kind of things I want to go over, is how we treat pickoffs, right? When somebody dies, whether that's we're in the middle of things, whether that's the pre-fight, whatever. We need to actually have a plan for how to do it, and it kind of depends on the comp that, well, obviously the comp that we have, but like it really depends on who gets picked, right? So like, let's take that Dorado game for example, right? If anyone gets picked, the number one thing that we do is, if it's like before a fight or kind of in mid-fight, the two things that we should look to do is kite and trade, right? Especially if we lose first, we need to kite and trade. It just depends after that when this takes place in the fight and where we are. So like, I think a great example I use whenever I talk kind of about something like this is thinking on Route 66. They pop out with a Widow out of and take the head off of our Tracer. Okay, what the rest of us, and let's say their team's like pretty close to point, right? Their team moves on to point. What we do is we take that back cafe and we're just poking, right? That's our kite. And since we have the ability to kite, we're basically looking for a bait, right? So there's a couple different things you do when someone dies. As I said, you look for a trade and kite if you can kite, and then after that you either look for a bait or you look for reset, or hard aggression, right? And you just kind of have to differentiate from there. So it's easier just to show this on a map. It's kind of hard to put my thoughts into this. So Widow gets the pick. We're running same comps. Let's say Ash gets a pick. Same comps that we were running on Dorado. And where do I want to put this? Let's do second point, because that was actually that's a pretty good example. So that mega room where we were trying to stuff that one choke on the very top of second point when we were on attack, like that area. Let's say we lose our brig. Okay, we lose our brig, right? What we do is, since we have the ability to kite into a room where not all their team is going to be looking, then that's what we do. We look to kite and we look for the trade while baiting them. So it's like, oh, okay, look, we're trying to escape or reset. Like, okay, that means for them they can push forward, and when they push forward, that's when we can pounce again, right? It's ebb and flow. They get the pick, we back up, give them space, look for them to be overzealous, push forward. Once they push forward, then we capitalize on them. All of that to explain one thing that we have to cover. So you would just disengage. No, okay, so when you said this, if I'm reading this right, is you said usually every time we jumped the monkey or someone else died, so you just disengage. It wasn't even that. It was like when I was talking about the your echo not being in the fight and you being a lot more survivable than you're letting yourself be. You were still trying to back off the pressure when you could have been keeping it on, even when we weren't picked, right? And that's what I meant. Like if someone dies, yeah, then disengaging and trying to kite is fine. But like when we were playing that top bridge to stuff the choke, you kept backing off when stickies and primary are going to be a big deterrent of their backline pushing forward to help their diva or their tracer, right? Yeah, so that's kind of what I meant by that. Being too cautious when the fight was won, yeah. It's different because you don't want to lose recall. Sure, that makes sense. My pulses are also trash this map. Yeah, your pulses weren't the best. I understand going for the ground pulses and crowds, sure. But especially when you have, even when you don't have pulse, like constantly as a tracer, you should be trying to get that Suzu out, and making sure you're calling that every time. Against a dive comp, you call that because that's an initiator for us to go on the back line. If it's a brawl comp, it's for our front line to play more aggressive into their front line because they no longer have Suzu to, peel for themselves. Yeah, I think the Reaper comp we're still gonna take a look over, especially for like super hard brawl maps. But I think Cass is still gonna be played. I think Reaper is, Sombra, Tracer. I think even Echo we can try to incorporate into some things. And then backline for the most part is probably gonna look like a Lucio Kiri or Brigana, one of the two, right? Other than that, I think that's all I'm gonna do for you tonight. Maybe I'll watch. Yeah, I'll watch New Queens. I want to see Studio Sombra.
What objective unlocks in
Mace to the face. Mace to the face.
Translocators in place.
Okay, Yeah, I'll just ping them in a little bit. So number one, TP is way too far away from the fight. That's going to be happening. I'm fine if you want to control this mega, but you want to reset your TP a little bit closer to the fight than over here, because you're going to be out of the fight for way too long once you use TP, right? He had a good shot. I mean, the only obvious thing is stayed in a little too long, but he just had a good shot, right? So, hack targets in this comp.
Systems high.
Like, okay, so there's a difference between, like, hack targets for going it's a win condition for us to go in, right? So what's going to be the best win condition for us to go in during that one, the 1 second hack, right? If you do it to Queen, I mean, if we're all focused, it's not always going to be like this. So like, even if we're all focusing someone, yeah, that's going to be a good pick, but that's more, we all focus the target, less of using hack as the ability to engage onto something, right? So if we use it on the Queen, that's not really going to matter. She's just going to shout halfway through. and sustain. You know, besides she's a tank, it's going to be hard to really break her down, especially with the supports. You go on the Hanzo. Hack doesn't really do much to Hanzo, right? I mean, he just doesn't use storm arrows. But he can still hit a shot, as you saw. Tracer, yeah, if you can hack the Tracer, that's good. Just make sure you're calling when you're hacking the Tracer, because that's a good pick to follow up on. Kiri, if you hack the Kiri, if we can burn her down, that's good. But like afterwards, she'll just use TP and get out, right? The best hack target against a comp like this, in my opinion, would be more of the Lucio, because if you hack the Lucio, he's not going to have amp to be able to do anything. Heals or speed isn't going to work for a second. They're not going to be able to kite, right? And that's kind of the big thing with this dive comp, is we don't want them to kite. So if we hack the Lucio here and go, and when we go in and even go after the Lucio, that's going to slow their kite down a lot, and especially when we're running a comp with higher mobility than they do, that's going to be more advantageous for us, because we're going to be able to chase down those kills, eventually snowballing the fight, snowballing ults, etc.
Gotta go. Let's put a stop to that.
Again, TP's a little bit far away. Now that it's over here, it's fine. But okay, again, pinging this Tracer.
Somebody call. Don't let them push the barricade. No vaya a ser que lo necesite.
Also try to hide your... I would put your TP more on those bikes than where it is. Less out in the open. You don't need to go for the hack here. At the moment, you're just trying to finish building your EMP. You're not going to get a pick, especially because this is like the poke phase.
Much better.
That's not good. That's good. He's isolated. Your TP. Yeah, they were too close to your TP. I get why you did that.
I'll take a reading.
That's just something about moving your TP there instead.
A darle otra vez. Translocator set.
Please do not. Who is in charge?
That's some bullshit, dude. Look how fucking long of a range that is.
Greetings.
Apagando las luces. For the reckoning. I'm a duck. Tengo que irme. La próxima vez es más interesante.
Good, now you're in the charge phase, so you just go into their spawn. That's fine, you're in a hack. Changing TP, got it.
Just in case.
You don't even need to go for the manual. Okay, well now that we're pushing, you can.
Gotta go.
Good charge.
Feeling much better.
I would have TP'd once you force that recall. Because as soon as that recall's over and she sees you TP in the direction that you TP, she's gonna hunt you down.
They really have it out for me.
Greetings.
No vaya a ser que lo necesite.
Great solo pick. I'd switch your TP to up here, by the way. Great hack. Good manual. Yeah, switching your TP to that high ground. One, you're going to be on a health pack, and two, close enough to the fight where you can jump back in. I'd go for a little bit of more charge here before we begin the next fight, so shooting that queen when she first comes out the door. Make sure you're calling that when you find your TP. Shoot EMP. Shouldn't have died there. He had recall. Then again, I shouldn't have died here either. Oh wait, no, I didn't. It's the next fight.
Let's get back online.
Greetings.
Translocator set. ¿Qué tal?
I wins.
Lead's almost ours. I love a plot twist.
Go after her when you do it! Oh, she just tried your TP. You might want to change the TP. She knows where your TPs are now. Oh, that's unlucky. Yeah, changing your TP location. Especially because they have Mega Hack. See, you know they have Mega Hack again, so you're gonna change your TP spot.
Hello.
Up in this high ground, not over here.
Hello. Greetings. Hello. Greetings.
Looking for the TP. Good. Good hack. Great hack, good hack.
You're mine now.
Again, switching
Just in
TP
case.
spots. Like they... Yeah. Which he did, sort of, but...
I am on fire. They will come to request.
You have EMP, no reason to stay around.
Tengo que irme. Feeling much better.
Please be careful.
Right for me. Systems hacked.
EMP.
Robots ours. Let's go.
Greetings.
Hack complete. Translocator set.
Palsy put it there, but...
¿Extrañaste? Stay where I can. No
Great
caeré tan
pick.
fácil.
Their victory is slipping through their fingers. The flames of
Death
Trying to keep me out? I don't
Put
think
your
so.
back into it.
Forward spawn activated.
I'm on fire! Always plan an exit. Systems hacked.
greetings.
Again, I wouldn't...
60 seconds.
Of course, he somehow managed to find it.
Ay, te asusté. Apagando las luces.
You wage a war you
This shit right in front of you.
Just in case. They stole the robot from us. Mucho mejor.
30 seconds.
Systems hacked.
Could be going for EMP charge here instead of going for that hack. You don't need that health pack. Fight's not going to be happening around there.
No vaya a ser que lo Let the kitsune guide you.
Okay, now of course as I say that, it's right.
Robots ours.
Locators in place.
Let us punish them. We have almost won. Make your stand at the robot's side.
Almost catching up.
Good EMP.
Seriously, it's like they aren't even trying.
Making progress. Keep pushing.
As much as you don't like playing Sombra or playing against a Sombra, we're gonna probably need you to play a lot more Sombra. As bad as that is to say, yes, we do have other comps that we will be playing. That's gonna be more beneficial and everything. Not more beneficial, but more fun. But your Sombra definitely looked a lot cleaner here. Your TP locations, not constantly holding out your hand to hack something. Definitely taking what I've said into account and learning from it, which is good, which is what we want to see. EMPs were good. You want to... So I'm not going to have to... I can't really hold your hand through this when we're in game unless I'm 6-manning, but you're going to have to... Gonna have to know in the comp who your main hack target should be at like the start of the fight, or then the mid fight, and then obviously if you can catch someone out, then you can go for the hack like you did on that soldier when you and Spark killed him, like when he was on top of the bus. Like situations like that is fine, but like you don't always need to hack someone in order to kill him, which you've done a lot better at not doing, right? Yeah, I think we should just... I think next week we might schedule maybe possibly even an easier scrim just to work on our dive a lot more, especially with like your Sombra with Tuskor Prof's Monkey, Prof's Diva, backline, that kind of thing. So we'll see how it goes. But other than that, I've been doing this for a little bit. I'm gonna end it there. So good job, GG's, yada yada yada.